All right, so Akwaba, welcome to the Four Post Podcast. Yatna se Yababe Din Komo. Week 1 of 38, Akwa Kogu. In the Premier League, a lot of discussions are ongoing. Omo share, they are excited. The Ankoye Abobo Nashas, we'll be having the discussions here. Femi Asari Bodu, and together with the guys. Mose, you can't say gang.
Yeah.
Gang.
Yeah, I mean,
Tetredente.
Tetredente.
So no gang na vex.
My name is gang in I have Vessi. Tetredente. Tetredente.
Eno chede.
Hey.
So I mean say motos and then
Moto.
Nti me name
gang ni na ya vex.
Tetredente. Enti yede ya invest here Yababe Din Komo. So guys, what's up? How was the weekend?
What you go?
The back is back.
The back is back.
I'll be back. Weekend net say.
Yeah.
Eh, one yes, you
One quite there.
singing.
Ana reho kakra che one side. Unya buffer sana ejigwa. We are sitting na baby
Yeah, I don't want to share early kickoff.
Me tell you, class.
It's all results now. Hull City 2, Manchester United 0. Let's discuss it.
Part of Amazon.
Enyo.
Amazon.
Enye. Because me can say me who results no. And that's results me hear boni we no. Baby a honye deke say Twitter X. Once oh yeah brand oh yeah boys are obviously the place I will call for sports information here X.
Yeah.
Now that is the place as a lose so enko bibia ni ho baby abeko bi ehuru. So you just have to sit down and out house and now you want to go there and see whatever is going on there.
But I understand the social media gimmicks anyway, troll anyway because of.
Yeah.
But in reality, are you guys know overreacting? It's just the start of the season.
To some extent we are overreacting. But you know when I say and I say say
Agroba so if you anajo.
Agroba so because league you know you know right now very open even though we have someone and I say we have a certain institution or a team where you know or a better squad and or invested better in us now. My coach you know right now the longest serving coach in terms of even the big six with specific clubs you know.
Okay.
So if owners are the parkour never pray now Jitum said the difference is not that big but still they are the favorites. Now we started lose 2 points automatically we feel by the time on jelly o team no have the chemistry no na ebi and the parkour no ati free no ko. And right now no like we are saying if on your Arsenal now you're Manchester United or you're Chelsea or Man City or you're Liverpool obi anya new coach obi afin obi ebi fin squad no. So ebe mu nko Europe into more time to play their best game and get points. What about Europe? So at the end of the day, after that will be fear. Because our new coach. So small mistake you do by the time you realize, by the time you say Jack, yeah, Kujao. And one thing as I say, the English Premier League, you know, Aquafaba, and I say even football in general, Aquafaba, and say right now game beyond your normal. Even with preseason, preseason they will lose. So and you have to do team no. If you lose, send your best through Chrome and send the whole atmosphere be no. And your papa. So everybody and that's obian person will lose when it comes to the Premier League because it started and that's even the normal other leagues, La Liga and all that. It now started now to top up some level of pressure about also as even a team, a coach, players, unless you have to keep your head down and you do the needful.
Agumia, so what went wrong? Hull City 2, Manchester United 0. Statistics, more shots. On target, efficiency was a bit of an issue. What actually led to defeat?
I think efficiency, you've already mentioned that one, and it is due to the fact that Manchester United needed to change their front line, their front four. Throughout the whole preseason, it was Mbemo playing as the first 9, Amad Diallo playing on the right wing, Patrick Dogu playing on the left wing. Then they had Shea Lacey playing as the number 10. There's no way you are going to bench Bruno Fernandes for Shea Lacey.
Okay.
Bruno understands the team. He has played it for long. He knows when to step up and all of these things. But I think the most important aspect is about fixing Matheus Cunha as your number 9 in that whole setup, especially during the preseason. You tried it, it did not work out. They tried it against AC Milan. Manchester United lost by 4-2. So there are a lot of things I expected them to adapt to. I felt Joshua Zexi should have started this game as a number 9. Then maybe Cunha from the left or even Patrick Dogu from the left. Then Brian Mbeumo from the right. It distorted a lot of things, especially in the movement. And that's why I believe there was lack of efficiency in the front line. Now, the second thing I would love to talk about is I think you look at this Manchester United team and there's a huge question mark about their fitness. I think there's a fitness issue with this team. And it is not surprising that Yuri Tielemans went on Rio Ferdinand's podcast and told him that they did more ball work during this preseason rather than the physical works. Meaning this is a team that is solely focusing on the technical abilities and how they can control games and how they can dominate. Before the season started, there were news around that Jesse Walkers and co, they've sat down and they've discussed that this season Manchester United can no longer play counter-attacking football. Okay. They should be able to dictate and dominate games.
Hey.
So if you want to dictate and dominate without fitness, I ask myself a lot of questions. When you lose possession in the transitional phases, how do you track back? How do you tackle? How do you go in for the 50-50 draws? Mike, we played 35 minutes and Hull City had won 20 draws. Manchester United had won 11. So that should tell you this was a game that United were literally dominating and trying to play.
In the first 25 minutes.
First 35.
Hull City had won 25 duels.
Manchester United had won 11.
That is like almost twice.
Twice. 14 more.
But that's telling you, Michael.
Yeah. And everyone saw how Tielemans and co were struggling to cope with the intensity. This is the Premier League. Now you compare last season to this season, and there's a lot of questions to ask when it comes to the physical stature of the Manchester United team. When you compare the two seasons, last season and this season, you have a lot of things to ask. So I just want to give them the benefit of the doubt that this is just the first game. Just maybe some of the players will get into their rhythm, but the physical levels would need to improve. Mike, it would need to improve. It's really that poor.
V, how does CARRICK address this? Because United acquire Claver, there's a lot of news around them. Ekoye still news. Ankoye crowd are worse off.
Yeah.
You have to face the old players, the media, and all that. And the podcast will book. So a lot of people will want to have their say. How does Michael Carrick address this in the immediate so that it does not become what the United faithful will hope it will become?
I think that if it is what Akomia believes is the problem, then United fans don't have to worry.
Okay.
But if it is what I think is the problem, then they have just 2 weeks to solve it. Now, I will go back to Akomia's use of the data. Then we'll use that data to analyze what I think may be the problem. He mentions clearly that in the first 35 minutes, United had lost 25 duels and then they had only won 11. Now, that tells you that, and it's clear in the Premier League, duel winning is a very, very important part of the game. You can set up the most tactical side. Now, if you go back to even Josep Guardiola's last documentary, he had moved totally from that free-flowing, flamboyant, whatever, to very physical specimens. Because it was almost always being outrun. Now, there are two ways I think that if, like Akumia says, if it's about the physical levels of the team and that they are not fit, I think that in about 1 month, 2 months, you're expecting the team to be fit. So if that's the case, as the season goes on, United will come to a point where they are fit. And if the football is still good, then they will be able to be the likes of Hull City.
But P, can I add one so that you add it to the one I think is a problem, so that you add it to when you are about to explain. The other problem is Carrick's tactical structure.
It's tactical structure.
Yes.
Okay. So when I talk about Mafta, I'll let you explain what the tactical structure is and we'll go into it.
That's fine.
I think that also United do not have the profiles because sometimes the player is not fit, but you also need a natural dweller or combative player in the team.
Yeah.
And even with the inclusion of Carlos Baleba, United do not have that guy. They don't have a Casemiro. Or they don't have a Caicedo.
Okay.
They don't have a Ryan Gravenberch.
Much like a disruptive force.
Yes.
Obi or no say.
Yes.
Primarily to me say.
Yes. Only the no. Because see, Rodri is known for a lot of the nice football, whatever, but he's also a very combative player. Fabian Nuri, very combative. João Neves, combative.
So United are too nice.
Yes, they are. Andre Santos, but technically he's brilliant. He can play the game. But see, when the space is large and you are playing with your fullbacks high, now 30 meters, in the middle, he has to go and come back. He'll be in trouble. Bruno Fernandes, that is not his fault.
Tielemans,
and that's why they already started complaining. Of course, you see, Yuri Tielemans at Villa, that job was being done for him. John McGinn, like you're saying, will do that job for him. It's not Timibo. So because of profiles, as I'm thinking, I think United have 2 weeks. There's almost always a problem, no? Or maybe we'll wait to see if Baleba can give them that. But the players are just very technical. Baleba Nyabo no betimi kita dia banenim, Kobe Beni betimi Tene, Andre Santos. They are good players, but the physical side, for me, that's my worry. So if Carrick can work on the physicality of these players with time, as Akumia says that it's about the fitness of the team, then they'll be fine.
Okay.
But if it's about the profiles, I don't know. And again, I think one other point is where Kiki is coming from.
Tactical.
Because sometimes you don't have the profiles, but your structure. I think that was one of the mistakes that Enzo Maresca did. Last season or 2 seasons ago, when we were playing the 3-1-6, he wants to score. He was always leaving Caicedo.
Yeah.
So, Caicedo when the yellow card, no more question.
Yeah.
Yellow card, no more question. And if you look at Xabi Alonso this season, what he wants to do is that Chelsea lose ball now a 4-4-2 and a 5-3-2 before we go and press man for man.
Okay.
So maybe the structure of Carrick too has to change to accommodate those players for the United to get results.
Well, these are the next games for Man U. Omobebo Ipswich, 30th of August. Then Everton away. Now Omabo Man City will fear. Fulham also away. Then Spurs at home. So these are the next 5 matches. Charlie?
Ipswich home.
Yeah.
But
Ipswich home and who are we?
Ipswich home. No about Everton away.
That is a tall fixture.
Now about Man City at home. Now about Fulham away.
To be very honest with you, I think Manchester United will beat Ipswich.
Okay.
Manchester United will lose against Everton. There's a reason. If the fitness level has not improved us at that time, because Everton are really physical. Very physical. For City Maresca, Man United will cope. That one, they trust me.
Let's see. Red side, Red Devils, the other red. Liverpool, not so convincing. I'm call Newcastle. Then they had to salvage themselves a point. Last minute penalty. Luis Hall could try. But overall, people are concerned about Liverpool's performance, and it looks like the underlying issues, defensive frailties, it came back to haunt them in the game of winning Newcastle. Boy, what next for Andoni Raiola?
Andoni Raiola is also on the other side of Carrick.
I call Chelsea.
Hey, Charlie. And Andoni Raiola will sap the energy out of you. Honestly, I think that Andoni Raiola teams, they will always concede. They will always concede, like, because they want to press, they want to be high, that is, they are stuck in trade. I just think that with time, maybe at the time when Liverpool were doing those purchases, they were not wrong purchases, but over time, those buys are looking to look like they were not good buys.
Okay.
Milos Kekes is not doing the Milos Kekes that he used to do at Bournemouth that Andoni himself always used him. I mean, Jeremy Frimpong looks like he is not a fullback, he is a wing back. So he needs somebody to always defend the channels for him. And I always say that is why Liverpool thought that Ronald Araujo was going to be a good addition, because they needed somebody, if Frimpong goes in, can come and defend those channels for them. The midfield of McAllister and then Ryan Gravenberch, even if you play Endo Ouattara, again, the legs, when you go away to Newcastle, can be problematic. And mind you, there's a Newcastle without Tonali, without Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah, a lot of changes.
Luis Miley and those boys in the middle were so aggressive. But you see, for Liverpool, I think that we should give them at least a week or 2 more. The reason I'm saying this is that, Mike, when you're going away to the St. James Park, it's always an outlier.
Difficult one.
It's for everybody. It can be very difficult for you. And the fact that they kept on fighting and coming back. And again, there was an undertone that we forgot. Alexander Isak was returning.
Yeah.
The fans were willing to make it hell for him.
Yeah.
And it was. So I'm for Liverpool, I'm worried, but I think I'll give it some time. I'll give him a couple of weeks to see if truly they're in a bad place or they can turn it around.
So, Nyoman Liverpool are definitely the back will stop at the manager will be over here. Oh, coach, yeah. But then again, there are other influencing figures like Isak, like Vets. These are players Liverpool invested heavily on. Some will be the game changers, but I say game ni mom necessary. Or mom is a game.
I'm of 2 school of thought. One will have to deal with how Andoni Raiola improved certain players at Bournemouth.
Okay.
Even when at the start of his career as a Bournemouth coach, a lot of people thought that these players are fragile. So I want to give it time. The other part of me also speaks to the physical levels of these players and the demands of the Premier League.
Okay.
So, for example, I know Milos Kekes will work out because he worked with him at Bournemouth. So you might see an improvement at some point. But for Jeremy Frimpong, I keep on asking myself a lot of questions that now, if you are doing a comparative analysis, per his stature, his physique, per his quality, now let's look at the Premier League right backs. The good ones.
Yeah.
what is their body stature? How does some of these players survive playing as fullbacks?
Yeah.
I don't think Jeremy Frimpong is a player that will survive in the long term at Liverpool playing as a fullback.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are only two ways. Maybe one as a winger or one as a wing back. These are the two ways I believe he's going to survive. But in a purely 4-back system, I think Liverpool will keep on struggling in that position. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool decides to go into the market and say, okay, in January transfer window, we want another right back.
Yeah, actually, I've heard Antonio Areola want to convert Frimpong to a right winger.
Yes. Because you look at his stature and a lot of things, they are really going to struggle. For Florian Wirtz, you see, this is the numbers game. In the Premier League, for such an amount, huge pressure, you need to be giving numbers. In the Premier League, in the context of discussing central attacking midfielders, assists and goals will always play a massive role.
Okay.
If you are not doing that, then what else are you giving to Liverpool? And he has come in to fill certain shoes. Let's not forget that Mohamed Salah was supplying Liverpool with their assists and their goals. In his absence, it was Andrew Robertson and Alexander Trent-Arnold. So things have changed at Liverpool. Now the reliance is not on fullbacks to create.
From the middle.
Now they need to have more central progression and central chances creations. That is where Florian Wirtz will need to come into the picture. And he's also missing. Then a coach will ask questions. Let me put Szoboszlai to the number 10 position. Maybe he can create more. Maybe he can score more.
So, Yabej said, has West created a midfield problem for Liverpool? Because every construction, Biano would have to factor him there.
Yeah.
And then again, Szoboszlai so core. Maybe if he's a bit advanced, Otumibua,
Impacting him more.
you get it. So, how do they cope with some of these?
So I think it is more about personnel rather than the system.
Okay.
I think Florian Wirtz is yet to fully adapt to the Premier League. That is,
One season ago.
I know, Mike, but I'm only trying to give him the benefit of that for the next maybe 3 or 4 months after the September break, October. We want to see more from January going. Maybe that is when I'll come to a full conclusion that it will work out or not. But for now, I'm trying to pick on his side and stay in a certain angle that he's still adapting to the Premier League. And he must be very smart. You don't really need to be physical in that position to be very impactful in certain games. It has to do with the brain. You need to be very intelligent. So, for example, Mesut Ozil,
Okay.
extremely intelligent. You don't need physical strength to do. I hope he comes good. But for Isak, I also stand by him because of his first season at Real Sociedad. He was really that bad until he came in, pick up his form. Even at Newcastle, his first season was that bad. Then he picked up. So let's see. But for Ugo Ekitike, he has already started
Only
playing
with
well.
Brampton,
Yes, with Pram. But he has started playing well. But I think the Liverpool team don't have the squad depth to compete in 4 competitions. Let me use the word highly compete. For compete, everyone can compete. Even Hull City is competing. I don't think they have the quality in them to highly compete in 4 competitions.
Kiki, Liverpool near Chelsea near. Why not a human head?
I think for now, Liverpool,
Liverpool near Manchester United and not Chelsea.
For now, okay, when you look at the magnitude of Manchester United and Liverpool, pressure, the media, the lights, the cameras around, you say it's Manchester United because
CARRICK a human head then say Raiola.
But the only problem with Areola is I think Fee Eddie can make a submission Kasimbi or say Areola is the other side of CARRICK.
Okay.
It's true. You were talking about even Szoboszlai and we're talking about Florence Wirtz. You have to find ways and means to incorporate the two. So automatically, our structure has to change. Maybe at the best you two best, maybe 3-4-3, where Florence Wirtz and Szoboszlai is playing as the 2 number 10s behind Isak. Then you have your right wingers and the left wing. But the truth is, the kind of players are Areola Enya for Liverpool, no? Enya or no players are bit me working better with. Because even right now, the Liverpool don't have a problem with attack. They really have solid attack.
Anyway.
But right now, no, good. Right now, no, their middle, they need a lot of midfielders in there to come and help McAllister grab him.
Is it profile? Nah, is it a misprofiling issue? So midfielders are warning yet the Raiola bet me there, and let me help you here. Bournemouth, now I'm on the ball. Raiola and Finfin.
Alex Scott,
Tyler Adams,
Adams,
who are combative,
very
always willing to engage in duels and win possession. What do compare Liverpool to say? They are rather players who need the ball to work something with it, not those who actually duel opponents and then win possession of them.
Yeah.
So I think number game no, and it was like Liverpool are so nice to play against when they are not in possession of the ball.
Exactly. And looking at the kind of transfers are also Borium, right now they are busily looking for Brady Bacola and Mbaye. Pinchine Chai Wingers. Look at Michael Carrick. I was talking about Pinchine Wingers. Look at Michael Carrick. Your kind of football outbound, you always want to defend in the middle, that block, middle block. But here's the case. You don't want teams to stretch you. See, if Manchester United meet Tima about 5 back and I said 3 back, automatically I'll be up with 5. Then they keep a good fit at 6. Yeah, and it started with AC Milan.
Okay.
So we always press with the 4 players. That is the number 10 Bruno and number 9, let's say Sesko, who attack the 2 central midfielders. Okay. Then the our wingers, whether Cunha or Imbumo, will attack the other players. But the truth is, if the team no back 5, they build with the 5 plus the addition of the goalkeeper, a number Manchester United front press. So it means that to meet now we do the middle of the park. That's what Akomia was talking about. You come and meet Yuri Tillemans and let's say Andre Santos. Look at the wide. So
it's similar to the Liverpool issue.
Exactly. So the kind of players are also for that specific role, profiling. Every time if you care about aggressiveness, I don't know. So when you talk about this kind of football, not if you get to the middle, you need athleticism, you need aggressiveness, you need the runners near the idea. It means that so about this kind of football, your midfield has to be top runners. It's a Baleba and maybe a Caicedo or a Caicedo and maybe a Kante or Monobet run when it gets to that middle. And that's each and every time. Look at our defense. For the past 5 years, it has been Harry Maguire, Lisandro Martinez, Dalot.
But stick it to Liverpool. No money on fan Manchester United. So let me do this. Liverpool title contender.
Title contender.
How many title contender?
No.
Man U.
No.
Yes.
Man U.
Man U.
Yes.
No.
Man U. No.
No.
Okay. Chelsea.
Yes.
Chelsea.
Oh, the card in Diana.
Chelsea. Chelsea title contender.
Yes.
Okay, fine, no problem. But Chelsea in common later. It leaves us with Arsenal, Manchester City. Who the 2? Arsenal won, convincing fashion. Coventry, Man City, Chifan, Bokakra, but they still got a win against Bournemouth. And Maresca challenge.
Hey, so much Maresca.
And Maresca challenge. No question. Just can he challenge?
Mike, I think it will take time. He's still getting to know his players. Manchester City is going to play with a new midfield partnership. I think the signing of Boadi also brings a different dynamics into the middle of the park. They are set up and what they want to do. But closely watching the game, I think Maresca wants his team to be direct in certain phases.
Okay.
And maybe sometimes also dominate possession. It's not all the time that you're supposed to keep the ball. If you want to be direct, I think the most important player in his setup is going to be Jeremy Doku.
Okay.
If he's not around, then they decide to keep the ball more. He will need a creative number 10. Somebody who will just be behind Erling Haaland that will be able to find the right passes in behind low blocks. Trust me, teams will start growing confident when playing against Manchester City.
Okay.
So the fight for Maresca is not only going to be tactical. I think mentally, this team should be ready to play much more better than what we saw. This is a Bournemouth team under Marco Rose that went to Etihad, and I can tell you point blank that at a point in time, they saw this Manchester City team to be an ordinary team. Very calm. They allowed them to possess, pass the ball around. Nothing jittery about how they move. Just
before you go on, Michael, this weekend actually confirmed the things that we were saying in preseason. That's one. Pedigree and aura and personality of coaching is very important. Because honestly, how is it that when you look, Newcastle posted a picture of their coach Jesse, Matthias Jesse. He did not respect Antonio Ariola one bit. If he was Jurgen Klopp on that other bench,
and even Ancelotti,
and again, he's a club disciple.
Yes,
so
he was like he wanted him to know that you have come home. So, and I'm thinking about what Akumia just said. How is it that Marco Rose, your first season in the Premier League, you are going to Etihad, the home of the highest number of winning of the EPL in the last 10 years, and then you are confident of playing and outplaying them on their own pitch? Why? Because Enzo Maresca is literally on the same level with him in terms of coaching achievements. So this season there,
It's just week 1, but will you crown Arteta?
Oh, I think Arsenal could have a 60% chance of Beji League. You know? Like say, among
15,
them.
sir.
Oh no, say 60, 14 year, 19 clubs now can in HU.
Okay.
Mike, what are they?
I remember almost 17. I'm at 13. So
40% in here.
Because Arteta in that game against Coventry, it was proper control.
Man trap first gear, first gear, sir.
Proper champion, like champion's performance.
They have. See, they are ready to go, and nobody can compete.
I was thinking of something. I think Mikel Arteta, like the way Marco Rosaba or Maresca was they meet when Arteta also sizes everybody up and see there is an opportunity.
He's only the only threat to this one or no bet me start here Bokama every any assembly. Una Henry.
Yeah.
Obeti ma start here Bok.
I will not really be cry. Be a Chelsea. Be
also the old
Chelsea can jigu 3 days ago.
Because Momo Empire Maresca for no na Momo Empire Raiola for no Momo Empire CARRICK for no Arsenal for any Arteta for the money. Charlie, so that is it. Let's see what happens. What becomes of the next set of fixtures? Chelsea, Bebo, Fulham, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Mompire.
Hey, Abalua. Hey, boy, Bazabia Los were mini